Boom! Explode.
Hey everyone, it's Jeff Farina with BoomExplode.com, back for another rendition of our Second Chance Sunday review, thanks to our friends over at GameMind.com. This week, we have Dead Island. The patches have been out, the game has been played and beaten by many people, but today we are back to take a second look and a second chance video review at the game. Now, of course, who can't forget the emotional, piano-filled trailer that was released the same year that the game came out? But, at the same time, who also can't forget the surprise when they realized the game was really nothing what you were seeing in that trailer. The trailer was more or less a movie, and the game was reality. Harsh or a loved one, you decide. Created by Techland and published by Deep Silver for the PC, PlayStation 3, and Xbox 360, Dead Island pits players head-to-head against hordes of zombies, pretty much ranging from all shapes, colors, sizes, effects, more or less you name it, in first-person shooter form. Set on a made-up island called Banoi off the coast of New Guinea, the first thing I picked up was that this island greatly resembles Australia, not only in the scenery, but in the way that people talk and the way that people act. And yes, it is even stated in the campaign that Banoi was a former penal colony. A nice vacation in the tropics has certainly gone awry when a zombie infestation has broken out and caused all hell to break loose. 4 playable characters are thrust into the chaos, giving you the choice of different playstyle and different character style. The first of which is Sam B, a rapper with a one-hit song. Who Do You Voodoo is actually one of the intro songs you hear when you first start the game. The other 3 playable characters actually make an appearance during this song and intro as well. Xian, who was the desk clerk at the resort you were staying at, who was also a Chinese spy, gets caught in the middle of things. Logan, a champion NFL quarterback, who makes that very clear the first time you bump into him. And Perna, a former police officer, working as a bodyguard in this dangerous place. Each of the 4 characters specialize in their own set of weapons, whether it be blunt weapons such as baseball bats and sledgehammers, to sharp weapons such as knives, swords, or guns. Pretty self-explanatory there. Pistols, machine guns, shotguns, you name it. However, even though they specialize and have special unique abilities they can use with those weapons, the nice thing here is you can use any weapon you want, no matter which character you're playing as. So, the character decision you make in the beginning of the game won't come back to bite you and make you jealous later on. Once you've selected one of the 4 playable characters, you start off the game running through a tutorial level, which is actually the resort itself. One cool gem is if you actually venture off into one of the side rooms, you can find the mother and father, or the husband and wife, from the trailer I previously discussed, laying dead on the floor. Now, it's kind of a throwback to the trailer. If you actually explore the room, you will find that the room is exactly how it was left in the trailer, with the zombie dead through the door cut into half, that sort of thing. Escaping from the resort or the tutorial level, you'll find yourself met with fellow survivors who are just trying to do exactly that. And it's from there you'll have to run through missions in a Fallout 3 or Fallout New Vegas type scheme. Missions range from fetching gasoline to burn a pile of undead, to fetching alcohol for the local party animals who just want to do nothing more than party despite whatever's happening around them. You'll initially spend about a quarter of the game on the beach scenery, but from there you'll venture forward into the city, the sewers, prisons, even the full-fledged jungle. It's here that it's made very apparent that the disease infecting everyone, turning everyone into flesh-eating zombies, was actually caused by the local native tribes, something that's been around forever in the form of a disease called Kuru. When the game was initially released, many players took to fighting zombies all by themselves. They were running around as a one-man army, fighting hordes and hordes of undead in the jungle, having a good time. Until they got to the city, where they found that the zombies were actually about twice as plentiful, and they just couldn't stand a chance. It's because that the game actually received a bad rap at first, saying that the game is impossible, with air quotes. This honestly may be the case, unless you're playing co-op, and co-op gameplay is where Dead Island truly shines. It seems to be a trend that's happening more and more in today's video games, but Dead Island is a game that I do not recommend playing unless you have friends to play with on Xbox Live. The multiplayer here truly reminds me of a Borderlands type experience where you can jump in and out of friends' games, help them out with their progress, receive help on your game progress, trade weapons, fight zombies, fight bosses, practically you name it. The multiplayer is a constantly on, constantly aware ecosystem. What that means is that Techland has actually introduced a feature. If you are walking around the island, the jungle, pretty much anywhere in the game, and there is another player at the same point, whether it be on the same quest, standing in the same position as you, it'll actually give you a notification on screen if you want that to be turned on. You can actually press a button on the D-pad to instantly join their game. From here you can complete quests together to actually gain progress on your side of the single-player campaign as well. I have to say, going around with 2 or more people side by side, hacking, slashing, shooting, burning, blowing up zombies is a ton of fun. However, it does have its letdowns, just like anything else would. There's a lot of hacking in the game, and that's because the game has been out for a while now. A lot of the weapons are modded to have either unlimited ammo or to do extreme amounts of damage to the point where it's a one-hit, one-kill on anything you shoot, even the more powerful zombies, even the final boss at the very end of the game. It's definitely funny to see a zombie's head explode every time you shoot them, whether it be in the foot, in the hand, in the stomach, or of course in the head, but it more or less ruins the difficulty of the game. On top of that, some players will actually invite you to games with the sole purpose of hacking your character and erasing your game save. I've seen it happen to someone I was playing with before. Didn't happen to me, fortunately, but it does exist, just like it did in Borderlands. With that being said, you can legitimately modify your weapons with modifying packs ranging from shocking boosting kits, saw blades, barbed wire, practically you name it, explosive kits which will do exactly that, make zombies explode, their limbs explode, light on fire. It brings a new element to the weapons of the game, allowing you to truly customize how you want to play. Many times a multiplayer-centric game will lack in story. Dead Island, however, has a fairly strong story if you do follow it without skipping all of the cutscenes, skipping all of the quests. You'll find that it's actually very interesting, and it actually unfolds, and you don't want to put your controller down. The environments, for the most part, look great and are very detailed. There's unfortunately some sort of weird bug that likes to hang around for a couple of minutes at a time, especially during cutscenes, and that is texture popping. When you move from area to area, of course it has to load the new textures that are around you, but does it honestly take 2 minutes in some cases? You'll see that in Dead Island. You'll see during cutscenes, zombies that are attacking your characters in a cutscene actually look like smooth clay objects that have no face, no hands, just a big ball of mass attacking your character until all of a sudden, there's a zombie with rotting flesh. The controls in this game are mediocre from a first-person standpoint, first-person shooter standpoint. They're pretty much on par with all of the better first-person shooters you'll play out there. However, with the melee combat, it does take some getting used to. Swinging your sword, swinging that fire axe, it does take some getting used to. Sometimes the zombies feel like they're out of reach, even though they're actually right up in your face when you swing your sword. It feels like they're really far away and you can't hit them, or vice versa, they're very close to you, but it still doesn't register an actual hit. My 2 biggest pet peeves with Dead Island are very small and minute ones, one of which are locked doors. Now, there's a mini-game. Whenever you encounter a locked door, you have to actually ram the door with your shoulder. You have to actually move the right joystick or the right analog stick down and then up, more or less like kicking a kickoff or a field goal in the Madden games. Now, while you're doing that door mini-game, there's a red spot right in the middle of the bar. If you can get it in that red spot, you'll open the door on your first try. If you miss that, it'll take 3 tries. That's fine and dandy, but sometimes they will literally stack 3 or 4 of these doors, one after another, and it takes you 30 seconds just to open 4 doors because you keep getting stuck with these. The other one are simply the armed zombies. Some zombies will walk around with knives, shovels, poles, pipes, and they'll actually throw them at you, they'll actually hit you, and they'll actually duck your sword swings to stab you in the stomach during combat. Now, I'm all for smart zombies. However, if you're going to have smart zombies, you have to have smart zombies. Not zombies that just walk around aimlessly, grunting, and then they see you and they immediately start to run just to eat your flesh. So So I don't really feel that the armed zombies with knives, weapons, fit into this scheme here. I was almost expecting to see zombies with guns. That's how crazy it got at times. After playing through the campaign, both in single-player and multiplayer fashion, I actually jumped right back in and started it over with the same character and same weapons, same level. They'll actually scale the zombies to you. This is a game that I'm honestly going to put another 5 to 10 hours into after I've already put about 20 into it. I had a lot of fun playing Dead Island, especially with a few friends. The gameplay comes together in what is more or less a crossbreed between Left 4 Dead and Borderlands. If you're a fan of anything involving zombies, then Dead Island should be a no-brainer. If you're a fan of first-person shooters, mixing RPG elements, leveling up your characters, gaining experience, getting you new unique abilities, Dead Island is still a good pick. If you're looking to combine those into multiplayer mayhem, Dead Island is likely for you. Since Dead Island has been out for some time, with the initial issues and glitches that brought the review scores of this game down being patched, we give this game a strong 7.5 out of 10. Since you can likely find it in a bargain or sale bin somewhere, you owe it to yourself to at least try this game out if you have friends to play with. And there you have it. Thanks for watching, everyone. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, BoomExplode Video, and of course our friends over at GameMine.com. Also be sure to check out our Twitter account at BoomExplode, BoomExplode.com, where you will find daily video game news, reviews, and of course our weekly podcast, the BoomExplode Podcast. Thanks, everyone.